Hi everyone, just wanted to provide an update on the Stats Explorer. I was really kind of blown away by the enthusiasm on the first video I made about this when I first shared the Stats Explorer, and I've gone back to work on it and really made a lot of additions, a lot of fixes, and just thought I'd sort of make a video update and just share a bit about that as well for you guys. And first thing, probably the main thing, is I've updated all the positions for the players as well using the Opta data, which is the data source that the fantasy competitions uses. So yeah, you'll see AJ Lamb here. He's listed as a center instead of outside back. So yeah, all these positions are a lot more accurate. Not perfect, but yeah, aligned with fantasy. So that is nice. And I've also just added way more categories, different types of stats about things. So start off on the attack tab. You can see we got line break assists in here as well to go with the line breaks. We've got try assists for all the different categories of players as well. And the defensive tab, not a lot is new here, but there is this try saving tackle stat, which is pretty cool. Got a few guys on 3 at the moment leading the competition. I've created this new handling category. We now have handling errors and bad passes. Not 100% sure what bad passes is. I'm guessing it's like passes that go to ground, stuff like that. And I've also created these columns here: handling percent error, bad pass error. This is just like handling errors divided by touches and bad passes divided by passes to give us these percentage columns, so we can see who the who the real butterfingers are. Also on filters, actually, I've changed a few things. You can select all the forwards, all the backs, or there's this these filters here, so you can see players that have over 100 minutes only, just to kind of filter out the guys who have just sort of played bit parts or 300 minutes at least. So yeah, we can sort of see out of the regular starters how things stand. We got a prop here leading the bad pass stats. Not really a surprise there. Vothi, as far as the regular starters go, he's the main criminal for the handling errors. And on this discipline tab here, got a few new things. Found these stats called pen offs and pen def, which I interpret to mean penalties while on defense and penalties while on offense, like when your team has possession. And it does kind of make sense, right? Because there's more penalties on the defense than on the offense. Then on this set piece category, there are some huge updates. I now finally have individual, like player-based scrum information, scrums won and lost. And I've been able to use that to sort of create this scrum won percentage category, so we can kind of compare like players head to head, you know, how successful was the scrum. One of the issues with it, though, you might notice, is that it seems to credit the scrums for all the players that are on the field when the scrum happens. So what you can do is you can just come up here and just kind of filter it by props or props and hookers. That way you're just getting the stats with the props. And yeah, like if we go to scrum percent one, you got a lot of guys on 100%, guys who haven't played a lot of games. So yeah, we can come in, just sort of filter it, at least 300 minutes played, to give us a picture of who has the best scrum percentages with, you know, decent minutes played. And yeah, we can see here, like Zane Nongo, he's number 1, only ever lost 1 scrum. But then we got Seb Cowder, George Bow, Fletcher Newell, the Crusaders, right? I mean, we know how good their scrum is. Ethan de Groot, I mean, we know how good that Highlanders scrum is too. So yeah, I really like this stat a lot. Another thing we have, though, is line out throws won and line out throws lost. So we can do the same thing. This is actually a statistic for the hookers only, right? Like if you scroll down a bit, you'll see other players get credited with 1 or 2. I think that's for like when the wingers do a quick throw or whatever. But yeah, primarily this stat just shows up for the hookers, and yeah, I've been able to use it to make this line out throw percent column. We'll filter it by, wait, sorry, no, we want to filter it by hookers only. And then yeah, you can see, right, like best line out throwing percentage for a hooker, Tyrone Thompson at the moment, 94%, Kurt Eklund. And then as far as the hookers who have had a lot of game time, a lot of throws, right, like 74 for Cody Taylor, 93.7. I mean, kind of makes sense, right, that he would be the top out of all the regular starters. There's actually a bit of a gap between him and Taukeaho, right? Taukeaho 3% behind on that's after 91 throws. And yeah, so we can really do quite a sort of apples to apples comparison with these hookers and these props in the scrum now. And obviously there's more to like a line out than just the hookers throwing, but yeah, it's still something very nice to have in my opinion. Another thing with this category as well is that line out stolen, it now shows steals for all positions, not just locks, right? So we can see these back rowers finally get a bit of credit as well. Flanders, Signer, Charlie Cale with their 6 steals. Then in this kicking category, I've added in the missed conversions and the missed penalties as well, and that lets me create this goal kicking percentage stat. and yeah, like we can see, you know, the best kickers in the comp, like at least the first one that's actually had a decent amount of shots at goal is Harry McLaughlin-Phillip, 89.5%, which is pretty impressive, pretty much the best in the comp. Cam Miller, he's the one I probably would have guessed off the top of my head before creating this, but yeah, he's on 85.4. He's in second, taking a lot more kicks though, to be fair, but also, I mean, you know, he's taken probably half of his kicks undercover in Dunedin, right? So yeah, again, like we have an apples to apples goal kicking percentage comparison here. And then we have another new category. This is the carry section, and there's a lot of new stats in here, like yeah, gain line carries that don't make the gain line, dominant carries. I believe dominant carries is as opposed to gain line, it's like dominant carries, it doesn't relate to the gain line. It's when you go into contact, and if you go forward at that point, that's what counts as a dominant carry, rather than whether or not you hit gain line. Because like you see with these with this gain line carry stat, I've arranged it here by highest gain line carries. You get a lot of outside backs in here, right? And that's just because you know, you get the ball to them on the edge with a bit of space. They can just run past the gain line without any contact. But here with the dominant carries, yeah, you can see it's a bit of a different story. You got a lot more sort of back rowers in here. The big number 8, Tupai Tailoa, Whanakai Vara. And the backs you do have here, it's like Tava Nawai and Whainga Anuku and Caleb Clark. So yeah, dominant carry, pretty good stat. We'll talk about that more a bit later. We've also got neutral carries and ineffective carries. I assume these just mean like neutral carries, you sort of don't really go anywhere, and ineffective carries, I'm guessing, means you probably get driven backwards in the contact. Not 100% sure, so yeah, I would appreciate any sort of clarity if you guys know exactly what these stats are. One out carries, I assume this is like when you're you know, one out from the ruck, right? Like the first pass, rather than being like pick and go. That's what I'm assuming, and kind of makes sense. Like when you see like Rob Valentini's up here and Salakai Lotto, like these are the guys at the front of the pods, one off the ruck, right? You got one out meters here as well, which is kind kind of interesting. And support meters, not 100% sure. I assume this is you know, meters you're just running in a supporting line, like supporting a ball carrier who's on like a line break or something. And yeah, it kind of makes sense. We've got like Leroy Carter at the top, and yeah, he's always in support. So, same with like Morbi, Finianganofo. Kick returns, pretty self-explanatory. Kick return meters, I've also created this one here, like kick return meters per return. So yeah, you can kind of see which guys have run the most for every time they received a kick. Then we got a few new additions. I've created this breakdown category. I've put ruck related stats into it. So, you know, your ruck arrival effectiveness, ruck arrivals. We've also got ruck arrivals on attack and ruck arrivals on defense. And yeah, you can see like on defense, you got all the sevens up here: McWright, Tizano, Lasanga, Tapia, of course, because we know he likes to get in there and look for those turnovers as well. So all the jacklers sort of turning up here. This ruck turnover stat, I don't know. I mean, this is in the Rugby Pass data, but in the match data, but I've never been exactly sure what conditions satisfy it, right? Because you know, where's like Tava Nawai, where's Quinto Paia with this one? I think it's better to just use the turnovers one stat here on the key stats page. I think this is more closely related to that ruck turnover stat. I mean, it's probably broader as well, probably includes turnovers that happen in tackles rather than the rucks as well. But yeah, it just seems like this ruck turnover stat, for whatever reason, it just doesn't include all the ruck turnovers as we know them. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what this one's about, but that's just something to be aware of. We also got this biometrics tab here. So, you know, you just get the date of birth, the age, the weight, the height. I mean, look, weight changes all the time, right? I never really trust these stats, but the data's there, so may as well chuck it in. And any guesses who the tallest player in the competition is? Well, this Comrade Toliafoa guy for Moana Pacifica, I think he only played like one game this year, but wouldn't mind seeing him again, honestly. 207 centimeters, that is a giant. I mean, we all know how tall Nick Frost is, but yeah, he's kind of not in the top spot anymore. Interesting that Angus Blythe, though, is the same height as well. And yeah, bit of a gap between these guys and the rest, right? We go from 206 to 203, where you got, you know, Warner Derns, Sam Darry, guys that we already know quite well. And who's going to be the heaviest in the competition? It's got to be one of the props, right? To Mighty Williams, 144 kilos. I mean, was he really that weight even when he was playing? Yeah, I never really trust these weight stats, but still was kind of fun to see, right? There's three guys who were at some point above 140 kilos, if not still at that weight. And with the per minutes tab, don't think I've really added anything new here. On the per carry tab, oh yeah, I did create these stats: dominant carry percent as well as gain line percent. So yeah, it's just like your dominant carries divided by your carries, and your successful gain line carries divided by your total carries as well. And yeah, if we sort of filter it to 300 plus minutes, dominant carries led by Tuwai, Lasanga, and of course Timothy Tavatava Nawai. kind of expected to see him in the top spot, to be honest. I'm actually kind of surprised to see Lasanga there, and he's really high for gain line as well, right? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. He's ahead of all these outside backs. I mean, maybe that's because he's out on the edge a bit, and or when he gets the ball for a run, he's like kind of always got a bit of space, so can get both gain line and dominant carry, because he's not like he's a giant, right? But yeah, that's kind of interesting. Then of course we got meters per 1 out carry as well. Yeah, this will be 1 out meters divided by 1 out carries. So yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense for it to be dominated by the outside backs, but we kind of look at the forwards who are probably more often getting the ball there in tighter positions. Yeah, okay, yeah, Lasanga there again, Signa, interesting. Yeah, I wonder if this includes both one off the ruck and pick and goes, but not 100% sure. But yeah, pretty interesting stats there. Now on the teams tab, there is some new stuff, although not as much as the players page, but a lot of this sort of stuff was already here, but I've added in this kick pass ratio, and this just includes like total kick data across the full season. It's not just averaging out the match ratios. So yeah, this is an accurate stat, and we can see, yeah, Highlanders like the most kickiest team, right? 1 kick for every like less than 5 passes. So no surprises there. But at the opposite end, I mean, you got the Waratahs, right? 1 kick for every 7.5 passes. And I mean, we kind of saw that when these teams clashed this last weekend, the Waratahs, they were often just going nowhere, but they did not want to kick the ball either. And I mean, it's kind of the same story with the Force, right? Like, we know they like to grind away, hold on to the ball, and yeah, no surprises to see them there. Also with these scrum win and line out percentages, the way I was calculating them before, it was not accurate because of the data I was using. But yeah, now these should be perfectly spot on. And yeah, we can see like that Crusaders scrum percent, 97%. No surprises after what we saw in the players data for scrummaging. And Blues is the lowest, 89.2. And I mean, that's not a surprise either. They've been the lowest all year, although it seems like it's been better in the last couple of games. And with the line-out wins, Chiefs at the top, 90.2, Crusaders just behind them. And the Highlanders, I mean, they're on the way back up, right? Like, they weren't actually the lowest. The Drua have had the lowest line-out success for most of the year, but the Highlanders, they were second lowest, but now they've climbed up above Moana because, yeah, their line-out has been better for the last couple of weeks as well, which is nice to see. And on the attack tab, I added dominant carry and gain line success for teams. Pretty interesting, right? The Highlanders are the top for dominant carry. I mean, a lot of that's Tava Nawai, but we saw as well, like with Lasanga, like, yeah, kind of these stats weren't really what I was expecting to see. I mean, especially when you got like Chiefs down the bottom at 22.2. And yeah, gain line success, like 67.5 for the Blues, but just sort of middle of the pack for that dominant carry. And I mean, I guess we kind of saw that. We've seen that in the last couple of weeks, like against the Crusaders, they just get really slow ball, but they still try to build something out of it. But the defense just keeps rushing up and hammering their pod, hammering their first up carriers, and they end up going backwards. So actually, I mean, I guess this does kind of make sense for this dominant carry to not be so good. Forwards and backs tries, there was a bug in this before. It wasn't catching all of the tries. Now it does. It should be fully accurate, and these tallies should sum up to the total tries scored by these teams, but doesn't really change a whole lot. I mean, the sort of dynamic we saw before is still there. Like the Brumbies, they They're still the team that scores more tries with their forwards than they do with their backs. The Blues are right up there, but still score more tries with their backs. And everyone else is kind of a bit more balanced, except Moana, the Force especially, score way more with their forwards than with their backs. And even the draw as well, it's kind of close, which is interesting. On the defense tab, I don't think I've added much new here. Maybe line breaks conceded wasn't there before, and tackle offload allowed. Maybe that wasn't there before either. But yeah, otherwise things here pretty much the same. To create a breakdown tab for the teams as well. Yeah, nothing super interesting here. I'm probably going to revamp these ruck speed things to try and make them a bit more accurate as well, because the formula for these, it's like averaging the match categories, so it's probably not 100% spot on, even though it will be pretty close. There's a discipline group here, and yeah, I've just added in like penalties in your own half. I guess this one is kind of interesting, especially when you contrast it with average penalties conceded, right? Like it's not always the same for all of the teams. And I've added the average offensive penalties and the average defensive penalties too. Yeah, kind of interesting that the Western Force are just so far ahead on these offensive penalties than everyone else, but I guess it kind of makes sense, because we know the way they like to grind. They get into your half and they just sort of bang away phase after phase. So and then eventually get turned over, I guess. So I guess that kind of does make some sort of sense. On the set piece tab, already talked about how I fixed up scrum and line out percents. There's these maul stats here now. So maul's 1, average maul's 1. Yeah, the Blues, they're like the most maully team in the competition by quite a distance, it would seem. And yeah, I mean, Crusaders and the Force behind them, not too surprising here. This restarts received win percent column. This isn't perfectly accurate either, guys. I mean, it's kind of close enough, but this is kind of like an average of match percentages rather, because I don't have like complete data for restarts received, and like restarts that were actually taken. But yeah, I might be able to work something out to make that a bit more accurate. And then with the kicking, we got a lot of stuff added here, but I'm not sure what some of these stats mean. Like, these are from rugby.com.au. We got in touch, opposition collection, possession lost, possession retained, but and total charge downs, which I don't think was there before. And yeah, these are kind of interesting, because I'm not sure, like, these any combination of these stats, it always adds up to more than kicks in play. These are gathered on a per match basis, so they must include other forms of kicks, like penalty kicks that go to touch, free kicks, restarts. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what criteria kind of defines these categories, right? But I've included them nonetheless, and yeah, if you guys can understand them, yeah, let me know. And then the match stats here, nothing new has been added. And with your other tabs, matches, referees, substitutions, yeah, again, nothing major. There's some minor tweaks here and there. This thing was missing, like penalties, and yeah, nothing new added to the refs, although obviously the data updates each week. And yeah, Marcus Playo, man, like, he's still the least penalty referee, but yeah, we kind of saw in that Reds game, right? Like he kind of does he does kind of lose control of the game a bit. And yeah, substitutions, no real changes here either. So So that about sums it up, guys. Let me know what you think about it. The link's in the description as well. This tool is there for you guys to use, and hopefully you find it useful and interesting. From here on, probably just gonna, now that I've kind of achieved my major goal of just putting all the data I could find just into this thing into one place, I'm just gonna focus on tidying it up, fixing the bugs, just organizing all these columns so that they go in the right categories, and it kind of lined up in a more organized way so that you don't have like kicks from hand in the middle of the penalties and the conversions, and you know, like all the line out stuff goes next to the line out stuff and the scrum stuff next to the scrum stuff, and sort of having it a bit higgledy-piggledy. So I'll focus on doing that sort of stuff. Probably add more stuff to the teams tab based on statistics that we have here in these other categories. And I do want to add something for fantasy as well. I was thinking I'd add another category here called fantasy, and I'll just get it to show like points per minute or points per 80 minutes, and then like a last 3 games average and a last 6 games average for fantasy points. Just something basic like that, but it's something that I think is kind of useful, because I mean, the average filter is nice in fantasy, but yeah, it would be kind of nice to have one that's more of like a per minute basis one. Beyond that though, yeah, it'll just be kind of small tweaks, bug fixes, trying to make the stats a bit more accurate where they could be. And yeah, that'll be it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's any more stats that you think would be useful that could be sort of derived based on stats that we already have here. Definitely not a problem for me to add in columns that are just, you know, using basic formulas based on stuff that's already here. So let me know, and yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow for the best picks, and I'll see you there. Have a good one.